Hey everybody, Jazzy here. I hope you've been enjoying the dedicated server guide so far. Today I want to introduce you to the idea of shard manipulation, which is a unique capability of dedicated servers versus client-hosted games. To illustrate this versatility, I'm going to show you how to set up our secondary server so that you can easily swap between two different maps on the same world. I recently did this on my solo Warley world on Twitch, where I made a loot world for the purpose of gathering more regular berry bushes when my main world was generated with only juicy berry bushes. If done correctly, we can do this completely non-destructively and swap in whichever map we want to use every time we start up our server. First thing we want to do is back up our server. We're going to be doing a lot of folder manipulating and adding new config files, so it's a good idea to just save what we got. And the easiest way to do this, you just Control-C, Control-V, make a copy of your entire MyDeddy server, and I'm going to rename it to Backup. Honestly, you should be doing this on a regular basis anyway. These save files, they don't take up a whole lot of space on your hard drive, so yeah, it never hurts to back up. I also got to say, I'm not responsible for your dedicated server, so if something goes wrong, if something gets corrupted, I'm not necessarily going to help you get it back. So be sure to back up the server, please. Alright, first thing we're going to do, we're going to hop into MyDeddy server and we're going to create a new folder, and this is going to be for the shard that we're going to swap in place of our main cave map. So I'm going to call it Caves Loot. And it's not necessarily going to be a cave system, that's just how I keep track of the name. Now for this folder, we got to put a couple config files in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Caves, I'm going to copy the server.ini, and if you have a mod overrides file, you should copy that in also. So I'm going to Control-C, go to Caves Loot, Control-V. Now we got to just make the world gen settings for this new loot world. So if we do that in our client hosted game, we go to host game, create a new world. I'm going to call this loot config, and you could generate either a forest world or a cave world with this method. I'm just going to do a forest world for now. Let's see, let's put berry bushes to lots, let's put bees to more, let's put ponds to more, because I love fishing. Alright, all those settings are good to go. I'm going to generate the world, and on the character select screen we can just hit disconnect. The config files have already been generated. Alright, now we're going to go back to host game, we're going to find that world we just made, we're going to click on this little folder icon. Alright, now we can copy the level data override file into our new shard. If you generated a forest world, you're going to grab the level data override from the master folder, and if you generated a cave system, you're going to grab the level data override file from the caves folder. But we made a forest world, so we grabbed one from the master folder. Okay, at this point, the dedicated server has basically all the information it needs to generate this new map. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the caves folder, we're going to rename it to caves main. So that's our main cave system. We're just going to archive it for now. And this caves loot world, we're going to rename it to caves. So when we start up the dedicated server, it's going to look into that folder and take the information it finds there and generate the secondary map. So let's give it a shot. Let's start up our DST servers. Alright, looks like the worlds are fired up and all the portals are validated. Let's go look for the world. Switch to LAN. There we go, tutorial world. Alright, here is our main shard. What we're going to do is go straight over to a cave entrance. See, go next, cave entrance. I'm going to give myself a little creative pickaxe. I'm going to pop this cave entrance and take a look at what's on the other side. This looks like the loot world. I'm seeing lots of berry bushes. I'm seeing some beehives. Huh. Not a ton. You know, I'm going to run a couple commands to see just exactly how many we got. I'm going to do C, announce, and then a count prefab. Okay, we should have enough berry bushes in this world. 663. Just out of curiosity, let's see how many beehives we got. Yeah, I'd say we're good to go. I'd say there's plenty to loot in this world. Okay, so now we're gonna reconnect our cave system. The most important thing about doing this is make sure that you are not on your secondary map when you change folders. The reason for this is, if your character is on a secondary map when it gets deleted or moved, then your character will despawn. So you lose all of your inventory, you lose all of the recipes that you've prototyped. You basically get pushed back to the character select screen. So the only way to avoid doing this is to make sure that you're on your main shard when you move your secondary shard. So we're going to hop out while the character is on the main shard, and we're going to shut down both of our dedicated servers. Okay, now to switch back to the cave system, we'll go into my Dedi server, and we're going to rename, first we're going to rename the caves folder back to caves loot, and we're going to rename caves main back to caves. Simple as that. Now let's fire the servers back up. All right, servers are back up. I'm going to rejoin and hop back down into the caves just to make sure they're still there. All right, here we are back on the main shard. Let's hop down into the caves and see what's there. And awesome. There's our cave system, just how we left it. So yeah, that's basically it. Every time you want to swap out the shard, you just go to your main world, make sure your character is in your main world, and just rename both of those files so that whatever shard you want to use has the folder caves, and the shard that you're not using has any other name that lets you easily remember what shard that is. As far as ethics of creating a loot world go, here's how I look at it. There are still quite a few resources that are simply not renewable on a survival DST game. Examples include berry bushes, saplings, grass tufts, beehives, beefalo herds, and archive turf. To me, having the ability to generate new maps for the purpose of gathering kind of resembles the experience of world hopping in single player Don't Starve, which is what a lot of megabasers do to gather everything that they need to build. You're still spending time on gathering, you're just expanding the availability of otherwise non-renewable resources. And look, as long as it's my world, it's my rules, so I'm gonna set it up exactly the way I want to so that I can just continue to build with a variety of resources for thousands of days in the same world. I hope you found this guide useful, and next time I'm gonna show you how to set up 3 different maps on the same world. No folder swapping necessary. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.